All right, it is 4 o'clock, and we will call the Personnel and Human Services Committee meeting to order. I'm gonna mess with this mask the whole time, up and down my face. All right, if you could, roll call.
Johnson,
Here, Commission.
Begic,
Here, Commission.
Fox,
Here, Commission Chambers.
Coonan,
Here, Commission Chambers.
Herrick,
Here in Bay City.
Radke,
Here in the Commission Chambers.
Krieger,
Here in the chamber with the rest of the commissioners.
quorum present.
All right, thank you. First order of business are the minutes from March 17th, 2020. What is your pleasure?
I'll move them as submitted.
All right, is there any discussion? Seeing as there is none, take a roll call vote.
Begic,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Herrick,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, now we come to public input. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the Personnel Human Services Committee? Seeing as how there is none, we will move on to Petitions and Communications. And we'll begin with the Retirement Administrator looking to purchase. We have a couple of gentlemen. One of them is Anthony Lupo, hoping to purchase some of his military time for retirement purposes.
So moved.
Support.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Fox, Coonan,
Yes.
Herrick,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Begic,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, moving on to the next petition from the Retirement Administrator, Kevin Jean, hoping to purchase 4 years of his military time for retirement purposes.
So move.
Support.
Is there any discussion? No, there is none. Roll call vote, please.
Coonan, Coonan,
Yes.
Herrick,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Begic,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, moving on to our next petition from the Director of Recreation and Facilities. Let's see, the request is Civic Arena lease of space, seeking approval of a lease agreement with the Mid-Michigan Hockey for space at the Civic Arena, formerly housing the weight room. And so
moved.
Support.
any discussion?
Yeah.
Mr. Krieger?
Commissioner Fox,
We'll defer to
there you
Commissioner
go.
Fox.
We probably have the same question. Can Kristen talk a little bit more about this? Like, what do they want to use the space for? Yeah, and then we talked about the sale of the equipment that's there. So can she share a little bit more about that?
Yes, I could. The benefit of this contract with Mid-Michigan Hockey is twofold. One is that having a development program will create long-term customers for us. Mid-Michigan Hockey would like to work with youth and adults, and this is going to create house skaters, travel skaters, hockey players that play for high school, and then eventually our adult league. And having a development program within our walls is really going to be beneficial to encouraging our customers to come back year after year into the future. The second part is that it's financially beneficial for us. the space that is currently the weight room is underused. We only made about $600-700 in the last couple of years off of it. And we're going to rent it out for a monthly price to Mid-Michigan Hockey, but we're also would like to agree to a minimum of 80 hours of ice time. And that's really where our money is the ice, the sale of hourly ice. And we have come to an agreement that we would put 80 hours into a contract if so approved by you. And right now they're renting out 3 hours of ice a week. So we would end up getting to 80 hours within a half a year. And so realistically, as long as everything is going well, we're probably looking at double that. But again, it's just a minimum in the contract. And the sale of the equipment, right now there's a lot of weight rack type of equipment in there, a couple treadmills. So we, once it's approved, we're going to reach out to the community center, to the wellness program, to anywhere we can redistribute it within the county. And after that has been picked over, we're then going to try to sell the remaining pieces of equipment in the most profitable manner, which most likely will be some sort of electronic means, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, something of that nature.
What are they going to do with the room?
They are planning to split it in half. Half of it, they'll put some synthetic ice on it for small drills, and then half of it will be turf. And we've talked about how that will be laid and all of that kind of stuff so it doesn't damage the structure of the room.
Who's paying for all of that?
They are, Mid-Michigan Hockey.
They are.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you. Commissioner Krieger?
Commissioner Fox hit all the points that I was looking at. I'm glad that we're going to look at utilizing the equipment wherever we can within the county and wellness programs. And if that doesn't fulfill all the equipment, then yeah, let's sell it and move on. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner Begic.
There was a addendum to this, I don't have that right now, to the original thing. I can't remember what that was about. I think there's an addendum.
If I could, there was just one small typo on it. It said the community center and we had to switch it to the Civic Arena.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Commissioner Coonan.
Thank you. There must have been a tournament this weekend because we had a number of teams come in from Flint, Flushing, and what have you, and they were very impressed with the staff and with the facilities there. So I think, Kristen, where are you? I can see you there. You're doing a good job, and financially, I don't know if I've seen one, a statement for, let me see, 2020. How, maybe at some point I can get that, but I know you're doing a much better job financially out there than we had done in the past. So keep up.
Yes, 2020 was a hard year, obviously, because we were closed for many months. But I can get you the final numbers. There's still, finance is still working on the final, but I can get you pretty close. And you mentioned my staff. My staff is incredible. They've been working incredibly hard the last couple of weekends. We had Maha districts, we had the Puck of the Iris tournament, and everyone has been so wonderful. They are following the masking rules. They're following the spacing rules. They're following all of the things that we've asked them to do in order to finally be back on the ice. And it's really been a good experience.
Good job.
Kristen, you had indicated that this move too would be, we might be one of the only rinks in the area that would have a room of this kind. Is that what, am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, it is my understanding that we will be the only rink in the area with a development program within our walls. This type of thing happens more in the Detroit area where hockey is massive, right? But this is definitely going to be a benefit in our region.
Thank you. Are there any other comments or discussion?
Chairman.
Executive Barsha.
Yeah, I just wanted to weigh in and also thank Kristen and the staff for the great job that they've done this past year, given the circumstances we were dealing with. And this latest proposal that she has, remember, Kristen, when Mr. McCarty, was it? No, not McCarty, Dylan,
Larkin.
the Detroit Red Wings, he said that they would like to partner with us because when he was in Oakland County, northern Oakland County, a high school student, he came up and used that double sheet of ice at the Civic Arena and indicated he has a long-term, sort of interest in if the Red Wings can help partner with us. And also we've had the same offer from the Saginaw Spirit. So I think we're being recognized as a regional asset, and I want you to know that we appreciate you bringing down that red ink from the old days, 300,000 or so of red ink in a year. Now, we were on track before COVID hit to get that deficit down to 30,000 in a year. You might want to touch on that, but I just want to thank you, Kristen. Yeah, we're proud of the work that's being done out there, and we're making a comeback with that.
Thank you. Yes, financially, we were making huge strides. And then COVID hit and obviously we weren't allowed to skate for a long time, but I have a feeling 2021 is going to get us right back on that path.
Thank you, Chair.
Fabulous, thank you. Any other discussion? If not, seeing none, roll call vote.
Well, you're
I think
muted.
Deanne's muted.
Your lips are moving.
Okay. Herrick,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Begic,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, our next petition is from the Health Director. Renewal agreements with nurse practitioners, seeking approval of a renewal of contract with the current nurse practitioners. There's several that are listed there.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? Mr. Begic?
Just a question. I know these are renewals. I don't know if you've ever reached out to physician assistants for these positions in the past, being one of those people myself.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we would be more than willing to explore, Mr. Begic. But if you remember the original grant that this particular clinic was started under was with Saginaw Valley State University and their nurse practitioner program. So we've been utilizing nurse practitioners for that. However, we are coming soon to the end of this grant, and we believe that with the way that things are structured, we can make it sustainable. However, we're willing to look at a variety of different providers in those categories as well.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing as there is none, a roll call vote.
Radke,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Begic,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Herrick,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right, the next petition is also from the Health Director. This is COVID-19 investigation and vaccination funding allocation and adjustments.
So moved.
Support.
Is moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing as there is none, a roll call vote.
Krieger,
Yes.
Begic,
Yes.
Fox,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Herrick,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right. Our final petition comes from the Personnel Director with a bevy of vacancies for us to look over.
Motion to approve.
Support.
It has been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Begic,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Herrick,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you. All right, do we have any referrals? Don't see any. Any unfinished business? None listed. Any new business? Anything miscellaneous? Anyone want to make an announcement of any kind? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, thank you. I did want to make an announcement. The project that Bay County has been working on with Fraser Township, Coquitlam Township, and Linwood Civic Improvement Club, known as the project Linwood Scenic Access Site Improvements on Saginaw Bay. This is the project that the County Executive Jim Barsha has been involved in for quite a number of years. I know out there, they've been working on it for 30 years, making incremental improvements. And we are helping those communities work on a grant to DNR for some additional improvements to create a linear green space. Right now, it's just a parking lot out there. So the project would include creating a linear green space, putting in a seasonal fishing pier, ADA kayak launch, as well as some picnic tables and other amenities, spotting scopes out there right on the bay. There is a public hearing proposed on Monday, March 22nd, and it will be at 6:30. At the Fraser Township Hall. It has been posted in the Pinconning Journal, and it's on our Facebook page as of today. Thank you, Nick. And so that project is a well-loved community project, and it's moving hopefully towards getting the last funding that we need to get in order to get that thing completed. So I just wanted to make that announcement.
Thank you so much. That sounds outstanding. Any other announcements? Yes, sir.
I do have a question for Lars, just so people understand where it's at. Maybe you can describe how individuals would be able to come out and have access to it.
Oh, well, right, and the site plan reveal, it's a big, beautiful site plan that we have. This, it was going to be revealed at the public hearing, but this will allow for continued access of a small boat ramp there that's kind of allows for about 14-foot skiffs down there. That turning radius will still be kept in place and maintained. That green space will actually occur where along the riprap is now in place on that northern edge at the very end of the road, and that riprap will be leveled out and a steel seawall will be installed. And so basically we will be making a very minor expansion, but creating about a 350-foot linear green space by about 30 to 40 foot wide, using some of that existing edge of the existing pavement. We have photos, people who want to go out there to sit and look at the bay, they're sitting on top of the riprap right now. So it's a pretty compelling photo. We're looking to change that.
Standing.
Very good.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Oh, thank you.
Mr. Coonan?
Commissioner Johnson or Chairman Johnson. No, Laura, if you are you done?
I am.
I see Joel's in attendance, and I thought maybe it would be good for us to get an update, Joel, on what's going on, if you could, not just for us, but maybe for all the folks out there.
Okay, be more than happy to. First of all, let me talk about the number of positive cases that we're currently at. We our test positivity rate is about 5.4%. That's risen about 2% in the last 3 weeks. Our case rate is pretty much plateaued, though. We're not seeing steady increases like some of the surrounding counties are, but it still has increased a minor bit. We're especially concerned for two reasons. Number one is with the St. Patrick's Day holiday coming up, there's an opportunity for people to get together and socialize. We still want to emphasize masking and distancing and good hygiene and being aware of symptoms. The other thing that we're concerned about is we're seeing an increased number of cases amongst school-age children. In the last weekend, about a quarter of all of our cases total came from persons under the age of 18. And if you read in the Bay City Times or MLive, there are a number of school sports related quarantines that are taking place as well. And we've got one particular middle school that is in virtual session right now. We may have another school in virtual session in the coming days, depending on cases. On the other hand, we're doing well in getting vaccines out. I looked at the state's vaccine dashboard today. As a total of the entire state, the vaccine coverage for the entire state is about 24.9% of the entire population. Bay County is actually at 30% as of today. And the health department and our partner providers throughout the county have administered well over 37,000 vaccines to date. And we're going to be doing more. So a couple of big things to note for this week. Number one is that we have our regularly planned and scheduled Tuesday and Thursday clinics at the community center in Delta College. Those are going really, really well. They're phenomenal. And then in addition to that, on Saturday, we have a special clinic at Pinconning High School for Northern Bay County residents. That is starting to fill up fairly quick. We expect that we'll probably have at least 500 doses administered on Saturday. And then in addition to that, we're getting more and more providers online and distributing vaccine to them. I know that we've got at least 3 private providers online this week, and we've started to provide vaccine out to them. In addition to that, we've started to provide Johnson & Johnson vaccine as well throughout the community. And that's another good tool for us because it's a 1-dose requirement. And although you may have seen that its efficacy rate is slightly lower than Moderna and Pfizer, it does just as well at preventing severe illness, hospitalization, and death as well. So I think we may be able to get there to our goal of herd immunity by 4th of July. I was happy to see that the Biden administration took our goal under wing last week and made it their goal too. So I'm going to end on that.
Thanks, Joel.
Thank you. Good news.
Chairman? Mr. Chairman, one more. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to make an announcement that has already been indicated by Commissioner Vaughn Begic at the last meeting, but as Finance and I and Congressman Kilday's office have looked through the American Rescue Plan, the $1.9 trillion that passed Congress and was signed into law by President Biden last week, bears good news for Bay County. I'll just give you a very brief synopsis of what we know so far. It provides funding for state and local aid, education, rental assistance, and transit. The state portion that's going to states across the country is $195 billion. The local portion that going to cities and counties is $130 billion, equally divided between cities and counties nationwide. Bay County's estimated share is $20 million in the form of 2 payments. The first payment, which we would expect in about 60 days or so, estimated around May 10th, we should receive half, or approximately $10 million. The second payment will be made 1 year later on March 10th of 2022, and that will be an additional $10 million. and all funding must be spent by the end of the calendar year 2024. Revenue replacement and eligible funding, this is what we're focused on mostly, is what can we use this money for? And that is eligible funding uses, revenue replacement for the provision of government services reductions due to COVID-19, premium pay for essential workers, assistance to small businesses, hard-hit industries, and economic recovery. Also investments in water, sewer, and broadband infrastructure. And non-eligible funding uses would be considered ineligible to directly or indirectly offset tax reductions or delay a tax or tax increase. And funds cannot be deposited into any pension fund. So far, I'm sure we'll get more details as we move forward, but it looks like we'll have an opportunity to do some great things on behalf of our residents. And I want to thank the Board of Commissioners for always being so responsible fiscally. Hopefully we'll find some good areas to spend this money in rather than return it to the federal government if we don't spend it. So it'll be a nice shot in the arm to help us get some things done that we didn't have money for previously in the general fund. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Barsha. Commissioner Krieger?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Along with that, we've been dealing with the state park for a number of years on different projects besides just cleaning up the shoreline. So Commissioner Coonan and myself are now going to work with County Exec Jim Barsha to take a piece of property that Bay County has had for a number of years that hasn't been developed, and instead of trying to go forward with the park and delays, the initiative now is going to take the old driving range, which is on the corner of Euclid and Beaver Road, and my intent would be for us to develop that parcel into a dog park so that individuals coming out to the state park that normally would have their dogs on the leash will have an open area where they'll be able to run. So I think as we go forward, we also have the support of Glenn Raleigh, the supervisor for Bangor Township. So the wheels are now going to start to turn, and my goal would be to sometime maybe the middle of summer have a facility other than what we have out at the fairgrounds for individuals of Bay County and outside residents to be able to take advantage of a dog park.
Outstanding. Thank you. Yes, Ms.
To follow up with what Jim had said, I don't know if anyone was able to attend the National Association of County update yesterday. They are very much seeking input from local counties as to what our ideas or questions we might have for use of the money that's coming to the county. I don't know if you attended one, but they left me very much with the impression that the federal Ways and Means are looking for our input so they know how to best support and provide that input to the decision makers. So they're asking for our input if anyone has questions or ideas or thoughts. Not sure because the parameters have not completely been nailed down, that we provide that feedback via their website.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, listen, NACO was on yesterday, and then Mac had something on at the same time talking about the money and how it's coming in, and looking for input from the locals. Broadband, is one issue that's still pretty high on their radar too. Yep. Especially for rural areas. Yeah. Especially with rural, remote learning, remote classes, whatever. Mm-hmm. I need to have Mr. Goulet call me sometime. I was at the Auburn City Commission meeting. There was an issue about animal services that was brought up. So if I could put a plug into him to give me a call and I can give more details about it. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other announcements or discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Support. It has been moved and supported. Roll call vote. I think she's frozen.
Yeah, she looks frozen, doesn't she?
Deanne. She looks like
They're all
she's
frozen.
Oh, they are.
Oh,
there she is.
Can you hear me now?
Now we
Can.
Okay. Fox,
Yes.
Coonan,
Yes.
Herrick,
Yes.
Radke,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Begic,
Yes, and happy St. Patrick's Day tomorrow.
Johnson,
Yes.
motion carried.
Meeting is adjourned.
All right.